Big thanks to Val for his last talk. It's really interesting. And also a massive big thanks to the Guild Group as well for hosting this. This is fantastic venue. So Alan Bradley is going to talk about NSQ and microservices. Okay, thanks Alan.
Okay, thanks. So NSQ is a message queue developed at Bitly, and they had two things in mind. One was scale horizontally and be able to fan out messages. So Gia, one of the guys co-authored, NSQ came up with this quote, how they like to build small things, group them all together. It's basically microservices is what they've described there. This is why I think, and hopefully you'll see, NSQ is a good fit for building microservices. Okay, so it's written in Go. It has first-rate support for Go, Python, and Node drivers. The Node drivers are written in CoffeeScript. Ruby has a really good driver. Erlang has a well-supported driver. Java and PHP are slightly less well-supported, but they have most features. If you go to the website, you'll see the tick box that defines what they have and haven't got. One of the nice things about it being built in Go is it's a small executable, and it's actually a number of small executables. We'll get in there. There's an NSQ daemon, which is actually runs, manages your queue. Your NSQ lookup is how you discover things. So the core, sort of the most important concept for NSQ is the idea of topics and channels. So a topic is really a queue. The channels are sub-queues managed independent. This should have been an animated GIF, but Linux laptop didn't work. So basically, when you, as a producer, you publish the topic, and consumers consume off channels. All channels are independent, so it will round robin the host on. We've got the metrics channel, so message A will go to one and only one of those consumers. It'll also go to the other two channels, and that's basically how you can run multiple instances of a service and scale that out. The channels also give you options then to add other abilities. So you might add some of your metrics on a channel. You might have your request processing on another channel. You can also have what's called ephemeral channels. An ephemeral channel means you can start it up, do some debugging information, get the messages coming through. When you shut that down, NSQ won't do anything to manage that channel anymore. It's gone. It's not going to use up any resources. And they have got 400,000 messages per second running on a local laptop. So the thing is designed for scale. I'll touch on a couple of points later, because it has been designed specifically for Bitly and the way they build applications. I have had experience with Kafka and found NSQ to be better, a lot more lightweight, a lot more just better supported, because I was trying to build a Node app at the time, and at the time Kafka was in 0.8, and it wasn't really great support for drivers other than what was on the JVM we found. They also didn't have consumer groups at the time, which would have allowed some of this topic type behavior. So, you have a producer. At runtime, he will create the topic. That topic is created inside the NSQD. The NSQD will manage that. The NSQD has a connection to the NSQ lookup. The lookup is just a discovery service that consumers can then use to find this topic. So this is an example here how the consumer will query the lookup to discover what topic it's interested in. this is basically what your architecture would look like. They recommend co-hosting your NSQD with your API that's doing the production. That way you're pretty much guaranteed to always get a message on the queue. The queues are registered over to the lookup. That means a consumer, if he loses a connection to the NSQD, your API message is still there. They give at least once delivery guarantee. So for the most part that means that it will only be once. But there are certain situations where a message could be delivered more than once. But they get away with that because the way they design their services, it's okay. The result will be the same each time anyway. Yeah. So the other thing is message loss can happen. You can write an NSQD, can write the disk, you set a threshold level, that'll write out, but they're not duplicated. By default, they're not duplicated across other NSQD instances. It's designed pretty much for a real time, assuming I write this message, somebody's there. The queue is really just given fan out and scalability. You can get into writing multiple NSQDs, but that's not something I've ever done. Yeah. So the NSQ, there is a lot of tooling around this, and they're all command line tools. So there's a web interface that allows you to look at basically your entire deployment, see how many messages are flowing through each topic, how many are in queues. You can do other tools like NSQTL, where you can basically, it's like a tail for the topic, so you can see the messages coming through. So that really is like a very high level, quick run through of what NSQ is. So the way it kind of relates then to the use of microservices is the bounded context, identifying your service, the domain events. This is, I think, is the key point. So the topics are the events that you're writing and publishing. The channels are then what you consume on. It's kind of worth calling out. That book is one I read quite recently. Eric Evans' book has been around for quite a while. His book is probably better in terms of content, but this covers the main events that Eric Evans' book didn't cover. There's more examples in this one as well, so it's maybe a bit easier introduction to the topic. But that's kind of, sorry, what's kind of, if you have any questions about NSQ? Sorry.
Where is it used on production? How mature is the project?
But they are using it, and Halo are using it in production. Halo use it in conjunction with Rabbit. So Rabbit handles API messages coming in, and NSQ is used for asynchronous messages, more back-end processing stuff.
And how mature is the project? From?
NSQ, about over a year now. It's been out in public, I'm not sure. It's been kicking around since 2013. I have a video link back at the code, and that's a really good introduction talk by the guys that built it.
Go on, you go first.
Oh no, you used your hand up before me.
I was just wondering, so you said everything was programmed in Go, right? Is that the entire NSQ is programmed in Go? Do you program in Go yourself?
Yeah, I've played around with Go, but I was using this from a Node project at the time.
Right.
The Node driver, it's an official driver written in CoffeeScript,
Right.
but it's pretty well written, so that there's a pre-publish hook that compiles the CoffeeScript to JavaScript, so you don't have to have CoffeeScript on your machine.
Okay. I'm sorry, I missed at the start. Is NSQ, is it open source? Can anybody contribute? Okay.
Yeah, and it's probably worth mentioning, sorry, I forgot. I talked about the lookups. There are work going on at the minute, pull requests in there, to use the gossip protocol for the NSQDs and eventually get rid of the need for lookups. That's still ongoing, but I think it'll be quite interesting when it comes.
I just noticed in a couple of slides back, yeah, there is that a queue, kind of like a queue per producer almost?
Pretty much, yeah.
Yeah, so you'd have that more often than you'd have producers sharing a queue and publishing with different topics, or is it just that particular project?
No, these could be the same. So
yeah.
when an NSQD gets a connection to the lookup, he basically tells the lookup, these are all the topics I have. The consumer will then say, I'm interested in this topic, and he'll connect to each of those NSQDs that host that topic.
Okay. Yeah. That's cool.
Is there any filtering on topics, or is it just an exact match? Can you define ontologies or?
No, you're right to that topic. If you're interested, you connect via a channel, and the message comes down to you.
Okay, so the consumer is responsible for further filtering.
Yeah.
In terms of performance then, so when you send a message on the topic, is it persistent? Like if the NSQD goes down, do we lose the message? Or?
You can set a high watermark, how many messages you want in memory.
Yeah.
So you can set that to 0 so that it persists everything. By default, it's quite high. I think it's a couple of thousand, I think, messages they'll allow.
And so when things start getting persisted then to disk or whatever data store, like, do you find that there's an appreciable performance hit, or have you got some special mojo around that?
I haven't really encountered that, and the idea is that they stress it's a real-time queue. So the idea being that the queue is only really there if things go wrong, such as consumers aren't up.
Yeah.
So the persistence of the disk isn't really something I've got into, if you know what I mean. It's treated as real time, so it's pushed through. And ideally, your queues are 0 anyway.
I got it. So it's optimized for high performance real time messaging rather than long term.
Yeah, and that's kind of the difference how you would come against something like Kafka,
right,
where that's more a distributed commit log, where you're trying to persist stuff indefinitely. This thing's more high throughput performance, take a message delivered to how many services are interested depending on how many channels you have open.
In general, Alan, how do you find message buses to develop against in terms of debugging multiple services with messages and stuff?
This is quite good because you can tail and dump out topics, things like that. The Node drivers in this one were quite good, so I never really got down to hacking in at that level of code. The web interface in this as well allows you to easily see what is in each topic and what machine is hosting that topic. So this stuff was pretty cool. You can use curl as well to throw messages on. So there's an HTTP endpoint, you can just pop messages on that way.
Has NSQD a way to define the roles, like which consumer can consume and which not?
No, the NSQD just has the topic. The consumer then decides which topic he subscribes to, and the messages are just pushed through. So he has no idea, he has no knowledge who's consuming those messages.
Thanks, Alan. Okay, that's great. Thanks again, everyone, for coming. Onwards to Slattery's, I think, right?
Slattery's?
Yeah, great. And same bat time, same bat channel next month, right? If anybody's got something interesting to talk about, reach out to us, and we'll take it from there. Okay, thanks.